afternoon, everybody. Thank you guys again so much for taking a busy time out of your busy schedules to be here. And of course, we do honor the veterans on today. It's because of you that I'm able to stand here with liberty. Amen. And I don't think people realize the sacrifice you guys have made and are still making. So hats off to you. Hi, my name is Dr. Yolanda Griffin. They call me the Money Coach. And today I'm going to talk to you about money. I want to thank NAREB for this opportunity. Mary Thomas, our local president. Thank God for her, and then all of my co-laborers out here in this industry. We know this industry could challenge us, can it? Hallelujah, but it strengthens us. It makes us better. And then, of course, into the money doctor. Thank God for you, woman of God. Thanks for the connection. Listen, when I was a little girl, my dad used to always say to me, Yolanda, protect your name. He talked in parables a lot, and I used to say, what? He said, you're not rich, you need good credit. So if you're not rich, you need good credit. Why do you need credit? Credit is one of the most valuable assets any human can have. Why is it an asset? Because when you have good credit, you can literally walk into any financial industry and demand prime rates, literally, and tell them, I will only pay you 1 to 2% above prime rate, because they have to make some money. And that's called knowing my credit worth, right? But then we know we all have some challenges sometimes, and we run into some conditions that might cause us to have some changes, right? So what is credit? Credit is the act of allowing a consumer to purchase goods or services before payment, with understanding funds will be paid back at an agreed upon payment schedule of time. So you're making a what? Legal agreement, whether that's for a car loan, a personal loan, a mortgage loan, and even though the vets, you're getting some great deals here, they're paying all of your fees, right? You have no fees to pay. But guess what he said? I don't know if you keyed in. He said contingent on your credit score. Contingent on your credit score. So that interest rate might start at 2.5 or 4.5%, but contingent on your credit score, it could get higher and higher and higher, right? So the one thing that I found with credit that I think we all should remember is credit requires us to do 3 things. We're either building credit because we don't have any, we're maintaining credit that we have, or we're repairing credit. So we're credit building, we're credit maintaining, and we're what? Credit repairing. And all 3 of them requires what we call a CTA, a call to action. If you don't do it, it will not get done. Credit reporting agencies are not responsible to manage your credit. They really don't work for you. They work for the corporations, the banks, the mortgage companies who report to them how well you keep your contract good with them. In other words, how well are you paying your bills? How well are you paying that agreement that you made? So what's my point? If you don't do the call to action to build, maintain, or repair, your credit will be just as whatever it is. If it's a mess, it'll stay a mess. If it's good, guess what? It'll stay good, because good or bad, until you tell the credit reporting agency what to do with your credit report, it will stay on there forever. You have to go and vet your own credit report, right? How about this? 1 out of every 10 Americans have no credit. And 1 out of every 5 Americans are repairing credit. Everybody else is maintaining credits. So you need to determine which one am I in. You know you have no credit if you've never even pulled your credit report. The annualcreditreport.com is offering us 1 free credit report a year. You know how hard and long it took us to fight to get that? And as consumers, we're not even taking advantage of it. Everybody should go pull a free credit report once a year, right? Have you guys pulled your credit report this year?
I pulled the soft one, not a hard one.
The only hard you're gonna get is when there's somebody is pulling it to see what your credit is. Anything else is soft. But you, as a consumer, I could pull my credit report every day if I want to, and it will not affect my credit score. Your score gets affected every time you apply for credit. That creditor is pulling your credit report, and watch this. If it doesn't show up as a good standing account, meaning that you got approved, it affects your score. So I tell people, unless you have made a sound decision to make a purchase, don't go applying for credit. People jump from one car dealership to another, trying to get the car. I promise you, if they told you no, him down the road is going to tell you no. You might get one that we call a predatory lender that will give you the loan, but you're going to pay. You're going to pay a Mercedes note, but you're going to drive off the lot in a Nissan Focus. Are you hearing me? Credit is important, guys. It is the first thing I learned as a teenager. My dad, he had an 8th grade education, but my parents owned 2 homes, owned their own cab company, and he understood credit was his most important asset. And never once did he have to tell us no, because he had the credit to walk in any industry he wanted to and purchase whatever he needed, because he even would go and hand deliver his bill. I said, Daddy, you know the mail people work. He said, but if the postman don't get there, my bill will be late, and the people don't want to hear the excuse that the postman didn't make it. That's how serious he took his credit, and that's how serious we should take our credit. So watch this. Building credit, repairing credit is not as hard as everybody think it is. I know credit is a sensitive subject sometimes, but I tell everybody, we have to just look that demon straight in the eye and say, you coming down. We have to deal with it. It's not going to go away, right? So you might as well deal with that demon head on and say, I'm going to deal with you today, and I'm going to clean my credit up. I am not going to keep playing with this thing, because it's like a bad habit. If you don't start working that habit, it can kill you. Am I right about it? So we have to what? Get into a rehabilitation program, right? Well, that's what repairing and building is. It's a rehabilitation program. Am I right about it?
Yes.
So we have to deal with that demon head on. And listen, in my lifetime, I've purchased 5 houses. I filed bankruptcy twice. Why am I telling you that? Because I want you to know it's doable. It's applicable. Are you with me? I don't want you walking out of here, all of those benefits. Let me make a joke real quick. I said, I'm married. I wonder how many single vets in here today that I might could go get a quick divorce, marry you, buy my house, then leave you and go back to. I'm just kidding. I'm a woman of God. We can't do that. But I wanted to make y'all laugh. But I was sitting there thinking dollars, y'all. Whoa, look all that money sitting over there. They getting away with a lot of stuff as a vet. Can I get into services? Too old, Mary. Too late, too old, right? Listen, there's what we call traditional credit and non-traditional credit. And sometimes one of the challenges we don't understand about the non-traditional credit is we don't pay our utilities on time, we don't pay our rent on time. But do you know that is a way you can build your credit? Literally. Experian right now is leading the industry and allowing consumers to have their rent reported to their credit report, their credit file. They're also building a program with utility companies to help report your utility bill. Right? Isn't that awesome? Experian, they're leading the way in that. So hats off to them.
I got some information on it.
I was going to say renttrack.com and rentreporter.com. will help you report your rent to the credit bureau. The next way you can help rebuild your credit or build credit that you don't have is get a secured credit card. It's okay. They don't know it's secured. And you can get a secured credit card for as less as $200. All they're going to do is take your money, put it in a savings account, and give you a credit card. And as you're paying that bill every month and using that card, they'll report it to your credit reporting file, and then you're starting to build your credit. For those of you who are trying to repair and rebuild, right? So what do I need to do? You need to pull all 3 of your reports before you go see those guys. This is what I recommend. I like to know what I'm worth before I purchase anything. I just had a head-on collision. My husband's harassing me. When we going to get the car? When we going to get the car? I said, first when I'm ready and find a car that I like and want. And 2, when they report it, pay it off. Because when I go to buy another car, if I have another car sitting on there, don't you know that affects my rate and my score? See, we have to know the rules of the game so we know how to play them. And the Bible says, be anxious for nothing, but through all prayer and supplication, wait on God. So we have to learn to what? Be prayerful, be persistent, and be patient, right? The next thing you want to do is list down everything on there that's in collections, anything that's been on there for 7 years or more that's derogatory. What's derogatory? You've been late. You've been late more than 3 times, 7 times, 8 times. You have charge-offs, things like that. If they're 7 years or older, we just have to tell a credit bureau, we want you to take that off, because by law, any derogatory information that's 7 years or older, it's supposed to automatically come on. If you think you have something on there and you don't believe it's yours, you have the right to vet it. That creditor has 30 days to respond. If they don't respond, it has to come off. See, when we know the rules of the games and we can put those systems, processes into place, we can get ahead. But if we don't what? Call to action. We have to work it, right? The next thing we could do, if it's a small account and it's been old, I find a lot of my mentees, when they come into my program, they have a lot of cell phone bills. How y'all get so many cell phone bills? Cell phone bills. So if it's a small bill, let's do what we call a settlement agreement. Hi, hello, my name is Yolanda Griffin, and I wanted to know if we could do a settlement agreement. I see you have me in the credit bureau on my file. You have me on you about $60. It's been a couple of years. Can we settle this for maybe 50% of the bill? Now, the catch with the settlement agreement, you're going to have to pay it right then and there. Now, contingent on the company, I have had some companies to do an agreement where they've given them a certain amount of time to pay it out, and they reduce the bill. So watch this, call to action. If you don't work it, then it's not going to go anywhere. We have to work it, right? I just had somebody, a medical bill, $1,200. I said, let's just call them and ask them to settle it. They settled it for $600, and they're going to give them 3 months to pay it out. Isn't that good?
Yes.
And it's not going to stay on their what? Credit report as a charge off. So I'm done. The rest of it, I have a program, a mentorship program you can join. It's a monthly program. Or I have a one-time where we sit down, look at your credit report, go over it, and try to clean it up as quickly as possible on those things that we can move quick. Things that we have to work, then we'll work them, and we work the system to get you where you need to be so you can qualify. So even though you're a vet, I don't care who you are today, if you are not a billionaire, you need good credit. I hope you've been blessed. Thank you.
Let's thank God for Dr. G, and she's going to be at her table. But the one reason I came up, you got this brochure about NAREB. We're a national organization that's been around since 1947. I just come back from Washington, D.C. I actually sat on the National Faith-Based team, and we met with FICA. You guys heard of FICA before?
We call it unfair
FICA. Well, we met with FICA, and we're at the table with them because the one thing we know, the problem with the disparity we have in ownership has a lot to do with credit. And we have to acknowledge there are some discriminatory things that goes on with credit reporting. I don't care, and we have tested. I could live in a certain zip code, and I can have the same exact credit report of somebody who lives in another zip code. And for some reason, that other zip code will have a higher score. So we know